a service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell, and your full AccuWeather forecast is always right across the top of this and all CNC local news pages. New York State Assemblyman Bill Reilich is officially running for Supervisor of Greece. Reilich, who doubles as chairman of the Monroe County Republican Party, was endorsed by the Greece Republican Committee Thursday night. In a Friday morning news conference at Town Hall, Reilich said he is running on an agenda of enhanced quality of life for Greece residents. Reilich will give up his assembly seat if elected supervisor. He says he'll be sorry to leave Albany, but it's the right time for change.
We must aggressively seek out new business development opportunities that will turn into creating more jobs for our residents. We must continue to improve our parks so that our families can spend time together in some of the most beautiful green space the county has to offer. And we must treasure each of our opportunities to make Greece a welcome haven for our seniors and our first start for the young folks who plan on making roots along the golden shores of Greece.
Current Supervisor John Auberger is term limited and can't run for re-election. Republican town leader Jerry Helfer worked to pull his committee together behind Reilich. That included County Legislator Jeff McCann. Last fall, McCann also wanted to run for Greece Supervisor. He complained in November that Helfer was stacking the town Republican committee with new pro-Reilich members to make sure that Reilich got the endorsement. Greece Republicans made a point Friday of saying this week's vote endorsing Reilich as the candidate was unanimous, and McCann stood with Reilich during his speech, along with County Executive Mackie Brooks and other current and former Republican elected officials. Greece Democrats won't pick their candidate for town supervisor until April. Town Democratic leader Dave Gerritsen won't speculate on who that might be. Candidates whose names have been in the media include Gerritsen himself, Dan Maloney, who narrowly lost to Supervisor Auberger 4 years ago, and former county legislator Dick Beebe. No matter the candidate, Gerritsen likes the Democrats' chances.
One town official after another going to jail, one FBI investigation, one scandal after another. And the current candidate just promises to give us more of the same. So I think the voters, once they take a look at the Republican candidate and take a look at the Democratic candidate, I think they're going to opt for the Democrat.
Gerritsen is referring to the Greece Police Department scandal, which saw 2 officers and former Police Chief Merritt Ron jailed for obstruction of justice and other offenses. Not much is known about the FBI investigation, he mentioned. It came to light last August when County Legislator Rick Antelli was trying to get a zoning variance from the town. He told the zoning board then that he couldn't answer some of their questions because he was a witness in an FBI investigation involving the town. Now, the FBI has never confirmed or denied this, and nothing more has been heard since then. 4 years ago, Democrats came within a few hundred votes of beating Republican John Auberger. They actually pulled more votes on their line than Auberger did on the Republican line. Auberger kept his job because he also had the backing of the Conservative Party, which is supporting Bill Reilich this time around. Democratic leader Gerritsen says Democrats would have taken the office if the scandals had broken before instead of after the election 4 years ago. He is hoping Greece voters have long memories. Republicans say they've got a record of providing quality service for the town, and they intend to continue. Rochester police have charged 2 people with murder in the death of RIT Professor Edlina Chun. Police and the district attorney's office say 28-year-old Jarrell Henry and 26-year-old Natalie Johnson of Rochester were charged Friday with second-degree murder in connection with Chun's death. The adjunct RIT professor was shot and killed during an apparent robbery attempt last month, and her body dumped in Irondequoit's Tryon Park. Henry and Johnson are accused of entering Chun's home on the afternoon of February 3rd, stealing personal property, then shooting her twice in the head. Both pleaded not guilty in city court today. Both pleaded not guilty in city court on Friday. A preliminary hearing will be held on March 6th. More than 5,000 opponents of the New York SAFE Act from all parts of New York gathered at the state capitol Thursday, lining up to lobby their legislators and calling for the impeachment of Governor Andrew Cuomo, who pushed the gun control measure through along with the top leaders of the state Senate and Assembly. They believe the law, which bans some types of automatic weapons and large-capacity ammunition magazines, violates their Second Amendment rights. We have a pretty good picture of what went on thanks to people who posted on Twitter and posted video on YouTube. Among the speakers, National Rifle Association President David Keene.
Your governor is willing to sacrifice the Constitution, your rights as citizens, and the prerogatives of his legislature on the altar of his own ambition and on the ego of Michael Bloomberg of New York City.
Keene went on to say the NRA stopped assault rifle bans before and will do it again. Many upstate Republican lawmakers also spoke, including Assembly Republican leader Brian Kolb from Canandaigua.
You are patriots that took time out of your day to travel here to the state capitol to send a message to that building right over there that it's about the United States citizens and protecting their rights as guaranteed by our Constitution. It is now time to repeal this law.
Meanwhile, a state Supreme Court justice in Buffalo issued an order this week requiring the state to show good cause why the NY SAFE Act is constitutional. The state must respond by April 29th, or the judge may issue an injunction against enforcing the new law in response to a suit filed by a Buffalo attorney on behalf of gun owners and sportsmen around New York. Governor Cuomo wasn't in Albany Thursday. He was in New York City and did not issue any comment. Although a majority of upstaters, Republicans, and Conservative Party members in New York oppose the gun law and the quick way it was adopted, a majority of all New York voters supports it. A recent Siena poll found nearly two-thirds of New York voters favor NY SAFE, including strong majorities of Democrats, independents, and especially downstaters. Siena Research Institute Director Steve Greenberg said 3/4 of Republicans and those favorable to the NRA are opposed. The CEO of Lakeside Health Systems says Lakeside Hospital in Brockport may not shut down its emergency department after all. CEO Jim Cummings sent a letter to hospital staff, and the hospital posted a notice on its website saying Lakeside will seek permission from the New York State Health Department to keep its emergency services. The hospital still plans to go ahead with closing its inpatient beds, converting from a full-service hospital to a diagnostic and outpatient treatment center. Lakeside submitted its revised reorganization plan to the state this week. Brockport area residents speaking at a public forum last night were concerned at no longer having a full hospital close by their end of the county, but Cummings again told them the economics of health care just don't support keeping Lakeside as a full hospital any longer. Greece police honored Officer Brian Shermer Thursday for helping to save 5 people from a fire on Pondview Heights. Shermer was named 2012 Greece Police Officer of the Year for spotting that blaze last year, while he and another officer were answering a different call. Both officers ran across the street to the Pondview Heights complex and helped rescue the occupants of the burning apartment. The Webster police officer who stopped gunman William Spengler's attack on the West Webster firefighters December 24th was honored by the Webster Rotary last night with the Paul Harris Fellowship. Greece officer John Ritter received the same award from Greece Rotary earlier in the week for blocking traffic on Lake Road and keeping more first responders out of William Spengler's ambush. Officer Mark Reed spotted the muzzle flashes as Spengler fired at the 4 firefighters he ambushed that morning. Reed fired back with his patrol rifle, and that forced the gunman to withdraw. Spengler then ran a short distance away and shot himself. 4 firefighters were shot, and 2 were killed. Snow, slush, and slippery conditions caused considerable problem for motorists on Thursday. Brighton emergency responders, fire, and police had to take care of a 3-vehicle crash at the corner of Winton and Westfall Roads. The cause is under investigation. And Gates firefighters were out Thursday for an MVA that left a person trapped on Route 490 and Buffalo Road. A car crashed into a pole there. The vehicle was heavily damaged, and firefighters had to extricate the driver. To the left of the player window, you'll find links to these and other stories. At the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news directly to us. What you share with us helps determine what we're able to bring to you on the news, so let's hear from you. Next news is as it happens. Updates are as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.